Welcome everybody to our Healthy Together time. I am so excited to be here with you tonight. I'm just getting my PowerPoint figured out really fast. Today is August 3rd, and I love today because guess what? Today's my birthday. So I just happen to be able to do this here with you guys today. And I don't know why this isn't working. Just one second. There we go. Okay. So sorry about that. Yes, thank you. Turn 37. I got to go to some soccer games this morning and walked in the door about 20 minutes ago. So excited because I can't imagine being with anybody else besides my Optavia family. And who better to celebrate my birthday and life with than this Optavia community. So excited. So I just want to take a minute for those of you who are new here, or maybe you just need a good reminder, because I feel like even if you've been in it for a while, you need to be reminded about these 4 components. And so the first one is that everybody that comes into our community gets a health coach. As coaches, we are your guides to the resources, and we get to be that sounding board as you are learning along your way with the journey, right? We're not there to slap cupcakes out of your hands, you guys. I'm not going to come, look in your pantries or anything like that. But we do like to hold each other accountable to the goals that we set. And the reason why we have those goals in the first place, we have our education, you guys. I want you to reach your health goals, and then I want you to optimize. And a major factor for making that happen is actually diving into the education that you already have available to you right at your fingertips. So even just taking 5 minutes a day to read something in the life book, to listen to a webinar that's about 30 minutes, doing that once a day or once a week or whatever you can commit to it. Just remember, your body always matches to where your mind is set. Okay. That phrase still boggles my mind, and it's because it's so true. So I want to think about that. Your body matches to where your mind is set. So this is how you help with that mindset part. Our community is our third component. And by listening to this live or to the recording, you are participating in our community. And we have these calls every single week at the same time, as well as events that every so often that you can come to if you are local to those areas that host them. And there's just something about surrounding yourself with like-minded people, you guys. It just helps you stay on that path to really help you focus and achieve the goals that you have. Some of those local events that we have some coming up at the Zermatt in Utah. We have a big thing in Cancun here in November, and we would love to have you as part of our community to join us, right? And then number 4, our scientifically designed fuelings. So can we just all agree that these things are lifesavers? Holy cow. And not like the little round ones full of sugar. Like these are literally lifesavers. I have been going and going all day long, and I don't know what I would have done. I probably would have just not eaten had I not had these fuelings. And they literally just make all the decision making so much simpler, and really just help you aid in that in the process of helping you with your goals. So those are our 4 components. Maybe take a look at them and just think about, where could you put some more effort into? What do you need to understand more? What could you utilize just a little bit more? Because all that's going to do is help you succeed. Okay. So let's get diving into this topic for tonight. I'm super excited about this. When my daughter turned 5 years old last year, all she wanted was a piñata, and they're not my favorite thing, but that's what she wanted. So I was like, hey, fine, we will figure this out. If you could see it in the picture, we had to rig it up just fine. So that way things didn't get broken inside the house, because her birthday is in December. So of course there was snow, so it makes it really hard to do it outside. But during this process of hitting the piñata, oftentimes it isn't just one blow that knocks the candy out, right? It usually takes multiple tries over and over. In fact, you'll notice that the anticipation grows, the excitement gets higher. Maybe there's a little bit of frustration there because the candy is just not dropping, right? So finally, the final blow that knocks all of the candy and the prizes out, everyone gets super excited and they race to the floor to pick up as much as they can, right? Typical piñata party activity, right? At the end, when you look back at the loot that you just got, there's some excitement there. There is this proud moment that you have that like, this is what I got from this, right? So this is the same with our health, you guys. Our health journey is made up of little choices that add up to the big goals. Though, how often do we overlook the importance of the little things along the way? I know it can be so easy to just forget about the little decisions and the little things that you're doing right, that because we just focus on the big goal, right? So I'm reading the book, The Power of One More. And in it's written by Ed Milet, and he talks about this analogy of the piñata. And I found it so fascinating, and it's so true as it applies to our health journeys. So often, like I said before, we forget about the importance of the small blow or decision that leads to the ultimate prize, right? We forget how important it is that we went through the summer better this year than we did last year, or that we made better choices at that party than maybe we wouldn't, where we would have normally. You know, those little victories. We forget how important those are. We forget that the feeling of self-control one day helps us to be better the next day, right? It helps us in future decisions. So I love this quote that he said in the book. Was it the one shot that busted the piñata? Absolutely not. It was the compound accumulation of all those hits that contributed to achieve the goal of getting the candy. Was it one choice you made that made you lose 20 pounds? Like all of a sudden one choice and bam, it's done? No, it was all of the little choices that you made every single day that helped you accomplish that goal. Does that make sense, you guys? I love this. And I love that in Optavia, we actually teach that the little things do matter. They are so important. So if you see on your screen, there's the Optavia logo. So each part of this circle, if you notice, they almost look like spoons, but I promise they're not spoons, right? Each part of that is actually represents each hour of the day. It is what you do with each hour that is going to hold you back, or it's going to propel you forward. So do you look at each choice that you're making that way? Do you stop, challenge, and choose to make the little choices that will help you? Over the last few years with my own health, so I've been a certified independent Optavia coach for 8 years now, just over 8 years. And I've had babies and I've gone through process multiple times. And I was thinking just recently about how I could level up with my own health. And over the last couple of years, I realized that it was time for me to let some habits go. It was time for me to let those things die, and I didn't need them anymore in my life. And guess what, you guys, it was drinking soda and eating candy. Even just like a couple of small candies, one soda, whatever, you know. Well, actually what happened is that one small choice, every time I would make it, would actually send me downward spiraling every single time. And I started to notice that it would cause other cravings. And I didn't like how that would make me feel. And it wasn't supporting my goals to be healthy in the long run, right? So it seems like such a small thing, almost silly, almost, right? Like laughing at it. But in the long run, it has made a huge difference in my health journey. And it's also given me the confidence and the reminder that I am the one that's in control. I am the one that's making my decisions. It can be overwhelming and sometimes kind of feel defeating to think about the long-term goals and think about how long you still have to go to get there, right? If you think about it as a destination. But I'm here to tell you, if you take it one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, one choice at a time, because each of those blows to the piñata, right, really do matter. Ed Milet actually calls it the invisible progress. The results of those choices may not show up right away, but to be the dominant force in your life, like Dr. A knows that we all can be, it requires us to remember the little things and to focus on those little things. I'm not here to tell you to forget about the big goals. Those goals, your why, they do matter. Don't forget about that goal, right? Otherwise, you're going to be standing there with a stick in your hand, wondering why you're hitting something and you're not even knowing what's going to come of it at the end, right? And then you're just going to feel silly. It would seem pointless if you don't have that end goal or that bigger goal in mind. But so are all of those small choices that we make each day to get there. So I want to introduce my good friend, Brooke Anderson. So she's going to hop on and she's going to tell just a little bit about her story and how remembering the small choices each day has made such a big difference in her health journey.
Hey, thanks for asking me, Corinne. This is a favorite topic of mine. I really love being able to encourage people along their journeys. Um, so I am a mom to four boys and I have chronic illness. Um, I have a combination of a couple different genetic disorders. My main one being Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and it's a connective tissue disorder. I also have one called mast cell activation syndrome. And so my histamines in my body, which is what would attack foreign objects you're allergic to, are overactive. And I am overly sensitive to foods and things that impact my body that most people might not be as sensitive to. Um, so essentially, from my Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, my ligaments stretch out and can't come back together. Which is why you can see I'm in the neck brace in one of these photos and why I'm in a neck brace now. And this is important because 2 years ago, I had a skull cervical fusion, and I was basically a bedbound person for quite some time. And I had met so many people who, through depression or being bedbound after living very actively, made it very difficult for them to maintain a healthy weight and a healthy lifestyle because to them, so much of that was in what you do, not what you eat. Um, and so I very much focused on what I put in my mouth. And I may not be able to control how I feel that day. I might not be able to control what I can do that day, what I can focus on that day, but I can choose what I put in my mouth and how that is going to affect my tomorrow. These pictures are actually 2 years from start to finish. They're all taken about a year apart, this last one being like 2 days ago. And you can see I'm out of my neck brace. Um, and so the exciting thing is, as I thought about, like, oh my gosh, what area do I pinpoint the most when I just have a few minutes to share? I could probably spend like an hour talking to you guys about this. That's not a invitation to do a Zoom, Corinne. So, so part of my progress has I've dedicated just 10 minutes of my day every day to doing physical therapy. And it's not excessive. I can't lift weights. I can't do a lot of normal moves. But being consistent with these few things every day for the last 2 years, now that I've been able to add in some other medical interventions, you can see like um, I'm able to be out of my neck brace quite a bit now. And though my head feels more supported in a brace, I've been able to work up to a couple hours out of my brace now. And it was those tiny baby steps I've done over the last couple years. But just doing physical therapy alone wouldn't get me to where I am today. If I was choosing to eat greasy hamburgers and candy all the time, I wouldn't be here today at this state, being able to build this muscle. You have to feed your body accordingly. So I'm more sensitive to sugar than probably the rest. So when I eat sugar the next day, I immediately go into a spiral depression. It doesn't matter how much sugar I had. Tablespoons, like handful of Skittles. There's a few sugars that are my downfall, Skittles being probably the main one. But I'm really allergic to them. I'm really sensitive, and I will get migraines, I'll get sore throats, I'll get bloated, but mostly I get depressed. And when you get depressed, it affects your desire to take care of yourself. Most people, just when they aren't eating very healthy, they get like a foggy brain. One of my favorite things about being able to help coach others is about a weekend program. They're like, oh my gosh, I have so much more clarity. I didn't realize I had a fog. And so for me, um, it's not like I don't have an end goal set out, because if you just set yourself for an end goal, you're missing the purpose of what this program has to offer. This program is teaching you steps to apply for a left lifetime. But if you're only applying them to reach a goal, then that goal isn't going to carry you through. It's just the little steps I've done over the years that's brought me to this point, and being able to celebrate this with you guys. I love that I've been able to.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Brooke. I know it's been a process to watch Brooke over the last couple of years and to watch the progress happen for her physically. It's not always up, up, up. You know, like sometimes she has hard days when there's storms and stuff because that does affect her health. But the way that she takes care of her body, one choice at a time, is necessary for her getting better. And so I've been so impressed with her and just the way that she has approached her journey. And I hope that all of you listening actually take some time to reflect on what those little choices are for you and to see the importance of what they do mean or what they could mean in the long term. Think about those little choices that you're making, you know, eating every 2 to 3 hours, getting your water in. Are you being active? Are you getting your sleep? You know, those habits that we talk about, they're important for a reason. And they're not going to solve all the problems overnight. But if you do each one and you choose each one every single day, the little choices every single day, you'll notice a huge significant difference in the end. So I just want to thank everybody for listening to our Healthy Together time tonight. I hope you were able to find some value and use it to be able to keep you progressing in your health. Don't let this be a standstill. Here in the Optavia community, we're here to support you and we're here to help you along the way. So please don't forget to come back next week. In fact, a little plug for next week is they're going to be talking about those little choices that you do make and how you can show up better in your life. So stay tuned for next week because it's going to be so good. You're going to want to make sure that you're on for that or listening to the recording. So at this point, we'd love for you to stick around and just stay a while with those of you who are maybe are wondering what health could look like long-term for you if you were 500% more likely to reach and maintain your healthy weight. Or if you're starting to have people in your life ask questions like, hey, what is that you're eating? Or I noticed something different about you. What's going on? How did you drop that weight? Or whatever it is that they're saying, they're noticing. People are watching you, right? Or if you just have been curious about this coaching opportunity, I invite you to stay on and I will be leading an Explore Zoom for that. If you are a newer coach though, I'd love for you to, down in the breakout rooms on your Zoom screen, you can choose a breakout room and you will be joining our coaching quick start. And my cute friend Laurie Warren is going to be leading that and helping you through some new training as a new coach. Or if you're a seasoned coach, you're more than welcome to join that as well and be refreshed on some of the basics. So thank you so much everybody for hopping on. We even ended a little bit early tonight, but we want to get you out and get you getting ready for school or enjoying the last days of summer, whatever it is that you want to do. But thanks for hopping on tonight.